Hello everyone, welcome back to the final day of JavaScript Bootcamp. It's day 10 already. It has been a long journey. We have been together for 9 days on regular sessions daily. So, welcome back to the day 10 of JavaScript Bootcamp. In this, we are going to discuss a few projects, mostly two projects, because three will be more time consuming. If you want to make the third project, you can comment down. If you want the third project, we'll upload the video of it. Otherwise, we'll definitely provide you the source code and everything. Yeah. So as this is the last day, let's have some interaction. Yeah. So it's been a long journey. We have been started with the basic fundamental concept of JavaScript from variables and all. And now here we have discussed about async JavaScript, DOM manipulation, and today we are going to discuss about how to do the projects with the concepts which we have learned. Today we'll be using switch case statements, if statements, all the concepts of variables, data types, loops, DOM manipulation, and if you do not know about HTML and CSS, no issues. We'll just touch upon the things, then I'll explain you the code how it's working, because I cannot start building the project from HTML and CSS, right? If I start building the project from very scratch, for one project it will be 1.5 hour of video. That's why let's do one thing. We'll do the things. We'll do the things. We'll understand how they are working, and in JavaScript, I'll make you understand how to do those things individually, one by one, one by one. Also, there are a few announcements as well to make with you. I hope this journey would continue after this bootcamp as well, hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, let's for the one last time, let's discuss what all we have discussed in this JavaScript 9 days long journey. First of all, we have discussed, I know you all have been listening to this again and again. Intern call, our company intern call is the gateway for elevating your skills. After the completion of this free JavaScript bootcamp, we have a few things planned up for you one by one. Hope hope to see you there soon, very soon. Yeah. So we also provide courses in different domains and things, and we have a surprise for you. Let's have a live session if possible. Let's have an interaction together. Yeah, as of now, one last time, let's discuss. Intern Call is a gateway to elevating skills and advancing your career. We provide courses in different domains. As you have enrolled in JavaScript Bootcamp, you have been learning about JavaScript Bootcamp. It has been very nice to teach you the JavaScript, and I have seen the responses in the WhatsApp community group as well. Those are very positive, and thank you for the responses of giving me a 5 star out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, yeah, I was very happy to see this. If you want to connect with me personally after this bootcamp as well, you can follow me on my Instagram handle, that is Aspire with Adnan. Here we'll be learning JavaScript, Python, web development, machine learning, and all of those. And I'll also be sharing resources. Most importantly, follow intern calls Instagram handle. I know most of you have done. If you haven't done it yet, please follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. That is intern call underscore, because you'll be getting regular job updates over there. If there is openings in Google or Facebook or any multinational company, Accenture or like TCS, Infosys, mass hiring companies, if there are any openings, definitely we'll provide you with the links as well as what packages they are offering and what is the location, so that you can read everything at one place and apply. So this is your trainer, full stack web developer and mentor, Adnan Ali. Currently, I'm working with web development, full stack web developer as in intern call. Yeah. I hope you all are well aware as of now, because I have been seeing a few frequent followers in my Instagram handle as well. I guess you have joined me on this. If you haven't joined, you can follow me over there as well. So let's brush up on things what we have discussed. First one, introduction to programming. For those who did not know what programming was, we have discussed a few examples on programming concepts of taking washing machine and other stuff. And after this, we have discussed what is the difference between a program and an algorithm. After this, what is the structure and the syntax of program. I hope until now you are all well aware of about all of these stuff, right? Syntax and structure of program and development environment setup. We have discussed how to install VS Code and run codes upon VS Code, right? So this was the completion of module 1. If you have any doubts, you can ask us by texting us on Instagram or LinkedIn or anywhere. Or in the WhatsApp community group, you can find my contact info. Next, we have jumped onto the JavaScript. After understanding the basic concept of this programming and coding, how to apply those concepts in JavaScript, we have discussed in this module 2. Here we have discussed about three types of variables: let, const, var, and automatic variable declaration. What is the difference between these three? Redeclaration, reupdation, and all of those. If you have not learned this, you can go to day 2 of JavaScript Bootcamp and you can rewatch the video as well. Then we have started about some data types, some operators. We have discussed about multiple operators, arithmetic, comparison, assignment, and all. That was module 2. Now coming to module 3, if else conditions, switch case conditions, if else conditions, for loop, while loop, for in loop, and also we have not discussed about this what is called as do while loop because it is not that frequently used. That's why we have left it for, and we have just discussed the theoretical concept of it, right? So this was module 3, control and looping statements. I hope it is clear until now. Next, module 4, in this we have discussed about functions. Very important concept. In as you have seen in DOM manipulation and async.js as well, we have used functions to call back, set timeout, set interval. Inside this, the functions are used. Function can be declared in multiple ways. Function declaration, function expression. Again, there are arrow functions, anonymous functions, and callback functions, and many more, right? I hope you are all clear with the concept of functions as well. That was discussed in module 4. I'm just walking you through the syllabus because if someone has joined us late, they can see which module syllabus is what, and then they can go back to that particular video. If they have any doubts, they can rewatch that video. Great. Module 5. Inbuilt data structures in JavaScript. We have discussed about arrays, objects. We have divided into half. Once after completing these functions, half of the concept of arrays and objects was discussed. After this, the next day, we have started with the operations or methods on arrays and objects, how to find the length of object, how to find the length of array, how to perform certain operations, updations, deletions. All of this we have discussed in this module 5. In module 6, we have discussed about OOPS concept. What is object-oriented programming? What are different types of concepts in OOPS concept? What are classes? What are objects? Runtime entity. We have taken example of houses, cars, etc. to understand it in a simple way, right? I hope it is clear with this. What is this keyword to assign the value to that instance of a class? All of this we have discussed in module 6. So coming to module 7, we have discussed asynchronous JavaScript is a very example with a nice example of synchronous and asynchronous difference. And then what is the set time mode, what is set time interval, what is fetching data from other websites, what are promises, etc. Event listeners, we have cut up on this topic and rewatched it in DOM manipulation, that is in module 8. We have in yesterday's session of module 8, that is introduction to DOM, what is DOM, we have discussed about HTML, CSS, HTML tags, elements, content, attributes, and in CSS types of CSS, inline, internal, external, and then what are different types of selectors, class selector, ID selector. All of these concepts which we have learned until now, we are going to reapply those concepts while doing this project. Please stay focused with this. I know it will be a fun session, no issues. The code is already ready. I'll just walk you through, and I'll also provide you with the source code in the WhatsApp community group. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp community group, join it as early as possible. Okay, we have understood about DOM manipulation, how to select an element, how to select by using dot query selector or dot get element by ID, get element by class name. Instead of doing this, you can directly use document dot query selector, document dot query selector all. In those again selectors, dot selector is for class, hashtag is for ID. We have taken the example of blue heading and borders to understand this concept, right? Also have to change the inner HTML of the content, dot inner HTML equal to, if you want to change some content. The same concept will be applying for creating the Instagram button replica. Okay, again changing CSS by using the variable name dot style dot color equal to some value. How to change the syllabus, how to change the style in CSS we have discussed using JavaScript. All of these concepts we have learned. Event listeners, nothing but click, hover, and all of those. We have taken example of yesterday. If you click on something, some operation was taking place. We have taken the input of age, and then we have used if else condition to create. All of these are some mini projects. You can add up in your resume as mini projects as well for this. I hope it is clear. Now let's see what we'll discuss today. In today's session, the last session of this JavaScript bootcamp, there are two projects which we are going to discuss. Hopefully, we'll try to complete it as early as possible. I'll not focus on the HTML and CSS much because it will be a whole different concept. But we are applying the concept of JavaScript. What we have learned, we are applying that concept to understand and build projects. I hope it is clear, everyone. Let's get started. So in this session, we are going to discuss two projects as I have said. The first project is Instagram replica button. What is this Instagram replica button? Here we have created one card of image. Okay, this background color black and a card of image which shows some name and text. Okay, and there is one button. There is one button. If once clicked, will change the text to remove friends and the status to friends. What if I click on remove friend? If I click on remove friend, the text has changed to add friends and this content has changed to stranger. The same way, we are if you as many times as you click, the automatically the logic is changing. I hope you have got some brief idea. Here we are using the H1, paragraph, image, and then a button. As simple as HTML code, as simple as this, okay? But the main logic lies in JavaScript. How to make this? How to read the value of this button, and based on this value of button, we are changing the content in this. You know how to select the value. You know how to change the inner HTML. In the same way, we are going to replica this. Okay. The second one. Second one is temperature converter. We will not discuss about this time because it is a very basic project and everyone does. But instead, we are discussing about this form. How to create this form and then convert the temperature value to Celsius. For example, 33.8 Fahrenheit is approximately equal to 1 Celsius. If you give this value 33.8 and then select Celsius and then click on convert, then it is converting into approximately 1. Let's do one thing. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Now this value is in Celsius, right? This value is in Celsius. I want to change the Celsius value into Fahrenheit. Let's see what will be the output. If I click on convert button, then see it is 33.8. 33.8 Celsius equal to, sorry, 33.8 Fahrenheit equal to 1 Celsius. In the same way, 1 Celsius equal to 33.8 Fahrenheit. Replica, okay? I mean opposite. What if we give, I'll explain you how it works. For example, I'm giving you here 29 degree. This 29 degree, is it Celsius or Fahrenheit? If you are changing it to Fahrenheit, this value is Celsius. But if you select Celsius in here, the input value automatically becomes Fahrenheit. Okay. Here we are taking one input variable, and based upon that input variable, we are changing the value. So 29 degree Fahrenheit equal to minus 1.6666 some Celsius. Okay. Let's see in Google as well. Let's see in Google what is the value of 29 degrees Celsius. Control C. 29 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. Right? It is 29 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. It is something like 84.2. Let's take this 84.2 and convert it to Celsius. Let's take this 84.2 and convert it to Celsius. Where it is? Here, right? Control V. 84.2. Let's convert into Fahrenheit. Sorry, let's convert into Celsius, right? Now this input is Fahrenheit. We are converting to Celsius. We have got the value of 29 because 29 degrees Celsius is equals to 84.2 Fahrenheit. If you see here as well, 29 degrees Celsius is equals to 84 degree Fahrenheit. What if I make it here? Okay, let's make it 80 Celsius and it's 176. Now if I copy this 176, if I copy this 176 and convert it to Celsius, the value must be 80. Let's see if it works. 176 Fahrenheit is converted into Celsius. Convert. See, it is 80 degrees Celsius. In this way, we are creating the logic to convert temperature to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, I mean converting Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. There is a formula of converting this that we'll discuss about it while we are executing this, all of this. First of all, how to create a project. At first place, how to create a project. I'll brush up the things again. Let's do one thing. Let's close this. Okay. There are multiple files open. I'm sorry. Yeah. If you can see here, I'm creating a new folder again. I'm creating a new folder, and then let's name it as Insta Replica. Insta Replica. Then let's make it as Insta Replica. Now the folder is created. We have to open this in VS Code, right? How to open this in VS Code? Type in VS Code. Once it opens, this VS Code is open. Then let's make it full screen. I have to import that file. Let's go to File, Open Folder. Let's go to Open Folder. Once we go to Open Folder, let's go to Desktop. What is the name which we have kept? It is Insta Replica, right? Now Insta Replica is empty folder. First of all, we have to create one new file, new HTML file, right? Let's create a new file. Let's name it as index.html. Okay, let's create an index.html. Enter. It asks us to save the file, create file. Automatically HTML file is created. Now how to create the boilerplate of HTML? We have discussed yesterday HTML:5. If we write HTML:5 and enter, then automatically it will recommend us entire HTML page, right? In VS Code, that's the advantage. Entire boilerplate has come. Let's write it to Insta Replica. Insta Replica's title. Insta Replica's title. Control S. Now let's run this file and see. If you have live server installed on your laptop, then if you click on Alt LO, it is okay. Or else yesterday we have discussed something the approach, right? We can do that as well. As I have installed already, I have got this output. See, as you can see, our page is created. Our web page is created. And the name of this web page, as you can see here, is Insta Replica. We have only given the title. Done. Now, let's do one thing. Let's keep it side by side. Let's keep this one side by side. Now, whatever we write here is printed here. Let's give an heading H1. Welcome to Insta Ad Front Replica. Okay, and then slash H1. Save. We have got here output. Let's center it. How to center this one? As simple as center. Write down the center. And we have to close the center tag as well. So center tag is closed. Save. Automatically we have got it. Everything is center. If we add hyphen here as well, it will automatically add hyphen there as well. I hope until now it is clear. Now let's do one thing. Let's give the background color as black. Let's give the background color of entire body as black. Background color. If you give directly, will it work? No. Inline CSS, we have to use style equal to background color black. Save. But the text is gone. The text is gone because by default the color is black. If you add the background color, the black overlapped and the text is gone. So instead, let's do one thing. Let's give the style here. For this, let's copy this entire thing. I know for the people who have fundamental concept of CSS, you are able to understand this. Others, I suggest you please understand the basic of HTML and CSS. Otherwise, you cannot understand all of this. Okay, there's some error. We have not closed the curly braces. Be careful while writing all of this. Control S. As you can see, the background color of this is done. Now we want to add a card in between. We want to add the image, that card in between, right? How to add that image or card in between? Yes, everyone, how to add that card in between? We have to create some div tag and center it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's click on in here and create one div. Okay. Div open, div close. Div is nothing but a container. Div is nothing but a container. Inside this div, let's add one image. Let's add one image. Right? Image has to have one photo. One image must be present inside that src, right? We have to give the location of that image. How to give the location of the image? Very important thing in HTML concept. I'll show you how to do this. First of all, we have to have that image inside our same folder. The folder name which we have created as Insta Replica must have a folder name called pictures, or else you can get from online as well. Let's do one thing. Let's get from online. Let's go to my website adnanali.info. Search. Got it. After searching, my website will load. In this, I want let's use this photo. Let's use this image as of now. Right click. In right click, I'll copy image address. And if I paste in this src, let's close the tab of my website. And save. Now, if you can see, our image is loaded in here. But it is very big. What if you want to control the height and width? We can do it in CSS, or else we can do it in inline CSS as well. As of now, let's keep it aside as like this itself and do the further concept. Understand further concept. I hope it is clear until now. Created div tag and adding image in between is the only thing we have done. After this, let's do one thing. Let's add one name. That name of the friend, right? Adnan Ali, the same which we have got in here. As you can see, this name must be added, right? This name is H1. This is paragraph, right? This is H1 and this one is paragraph, or H5 you can say. Let's do the same with this. For this, in the same div container, let's add space H1 or H2. Let's say H2. Let's add H2 and give it the name as Adnan Ali. I hope it is clear. You can do as of now, right? And in H5 is very small, right? H5 is very small. The same heading tag, but it is very small. It will show very small. In this, let's give as stranger. As of now, we have not added him as friend. That's why it is stranger. Let's save this. As you can see, after the photo, oh, okay, the background color is mixed as black here. The text is present, but it is mixed in black color, right? For this, let's do one thing. Let's copy this style equal to white, Control C, and then paste it in here. Save. Now Adnan again stranger is added. If you don't want to do all of these separate or else without background color, let's make the color itself white. Why to do background color and make it odd? Instead, let's do one thing. Let's make the color itself. The text will be white, not the background color. Then Control S. As you can see, the text is white. The background color is black as usual. This is nothing but simple HTML and CSS concept. I hope you can do until this, right? You can do until now. After this, let's do one thing. We have to create one container for button, right? Create the container for button. For creating that container in button, let's create one more div tag. Let's create one more div tag inside the div tag again. Div slash div. The div tag is created. Inside this, we are going to create one button. Everyone, we are going to create one button. Button colon. Let's give ID some ID. Okay. Okay. First of all, let's create button itself. Why to go into ID concept? Button is created. In that button, we are giving a name called as add friend. We are giving a name called as add friend. Control S. Shall we give style for this? No, let's not give style. Let's see how the output is. As you can see, add friend is button is created here, but it is not center. There is no style. Until now, we have only discussed how to create a HTML. After this, how to create the CSS file, how to create the CSS style. I'll show you how to do this. First of all, we have to give some IDs and classes to this to style because we are applying style at once, right? That's why let's give some ID and classes. First of all, to create this card kind of thing, to create this card kind of thing and dump everything at once, let's do one thing. Let's give an ID equal to card in here. ID equal to card or class equal to card as based on the selector type. For now, I'll give ID equal to card. Done. Next, for this button also, I'll give an ID. I'll give an ID equal to button. Say it will not make any changes in the output. It will not make any changes in the output. But we have added some selectors now. We added one selectors now. I hope it is clear, everyone. After this div tag, it is a button container, right? It is a container. You can give your own name as well. But for now, let's say class equal to container. It is a button container. Let's see btn container. What's an issue to do this thing? I hope it is clear how to add classes, IDs, and creating one basic HTML code. Let's go to CSS now. Let's style this. Let's style this and make it in center. Or let's do one thing. Why to add this title? Let's remove the title as well and replicate the exact same thing of what we have done previously. Okay, everything is removed. Photo is added. Text is added. Now we have to contain them in the form of a card. How to create this? Let's create one style.css. Let's save it first. To save, we have discussed yesterday. You can give any of your name, but we are giving style.css, and then most importantly, you have to select all files, and automatically your system will understand that it is .css. A CSS code is a bit long. If I try to explain all the styles, you won't understand anyways. There are the concepts of paddings, box model, flex display, and all. So for this, I'll do one thing. Whatever the code which I have written previously, I'll copy the exact same code and paste it in here, and you'll be able to understand it clearly. Let me pause the video, and we'll understand how things are working and what is the change in the output. Okay, no issues. So everyone, I have imported the same style by using the external style CSS. Let's discuss what is the code and how it is working. No issues. We'll discuss from scratch. First of all, you cannot see Adnan Ali and that add friend at stranger, right? Because the color is white in here and our card color is also white. That's why let's do one thing. Let's remove this style as well. I have done that to make you understand, but our external style sheet is overwriting it, right? Control S. Now you can see add friend and stranger as well. Then let's we have created that link style sheet. If you remove this, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll remove this and save. This was the basic HTML file which we have created, right? Now going to style.css. Going to style.css, if you can see in here, this is universal selector. Universal selector applies the same style to entire body. It applies same style to entire body. Margin colon padding 0, padding 0, nothing but it has to be strict. Everything has to be strict. No special styling. Border sizing is border box. Create one border box. Font family. That is where all the text I want to be in Times New Roman. If you want to have in italic, then you can change that font family. And then HTML body height and width 100% to take the full height and width of the entire screen. Then next body display flex display to change things. Okay, align item center. I want all the items to be aligned in center. If you can see the output here, everything is aligned in center here. This is center, this is center, this is center, and everything is centered, right? That's why this align item center. Justify content as well as center. This is the entire body. Until now we are only working with body and universal selector. But now, next this card. We have created one ID called card. Do you remember? We have created one ID called card, right? To access this ID, we have to select hashtag. Right? We have to select hashtag. That hashtag card height and width we are giving as 450 by 300 and background color as white. 450 height by 300 and background color as white. Done. Next, border radius as 10 pixels. 10 pixels nothing but this rounded corner. This rounded corner is 10 pixels of background. Next, padding. Padding is the box model concept, which is the spacing between the border and content. The spacing between the border and content is nothing but padding. That is, we are giving 30 pixels. And text align center as usual. I hope it is clear until now. Let's do one thing. Let's run the code in this. By default it is the HTML code, right? Let's link it. Let's link it to style.css. Let's link it to style.css. How to do this? Link colon css. Automatically we have got style.css in our image, and let's save this. If you save, automatically you can see that this height and width has applied, this padding has applied. Let's remove the style of these containers and all. Let's only understand the padding concept. For this, let's go to this card.image, and what all code is in here, let's remove this. Control C and backspace. If you save this file, the image is not aligned yet, but everything, the background image black, the text in here, I mean the box, everything is centered. We have not added the content for text. That is that image, right? For adding that image inside this box, for adjusting this image inside this box, we have to write code as follows. Where is it? This card image. The height of the image is 55% and the width is 100%, and object fit is cover, and the position is center. If you remove this card.h1 and all, let's do one thing. Let's remove everything. And if you save this file, now the image is added. The image is added in the box, but the style for that content, Adnan, Ali, stranger, and add friend is not done. What we are doing is, first of all, we have applied the similar style for entire body. After this, we have applied style for the card. After applying style for the card, we have inside that div of card, we are accessing the img. Img nothing but element selector. Element selector inside the ID card. That's why it is dot sorry hashtag card img. Now to access this h2, what shall we do? We have to write as hashtag card h2, and then curly braces open close. What all style you want to do, we can add in here. Similarly, for accessing the element of this stranger, it is h5, that is hashtag card h5. You have to access as hashtag card h5, and then what all style you want to write in here. And then for that add button, we have to select the button container. To select the button container, we have to do dot button container, right? We have to select dot button container, dot button hyphen container, and then give certain style for this. All of this we have already done. That's why I'm walking through the code. I hope you are able to understand what we are trying to do. Let's remove this. Let's paste the other code as well. As you can see here, hashtag button, hashtag card, and so we have imported the same exact code. Instead of dot button container, you can access using hashtag button. This button is nothing but element selector. Instead of button element selector, you can also select as dot button container, that is class selector. But in this case, we have selected using element. Yesterday we have understood the concept of different types of selectors, right? That's where for doing anything there are multiple ways of doing, but it is most important that the way output you get, right? Let's understand the code as well. We have stopped until card, right? Now this image height and width 100%. Let's increase the height of this to 75%, and let's see what happens. The image height has increased. I guess it is looking good now, because based on the image certain things look good, certain things look bad. Okay, width 100%, 100%. Let's make it to 50%, and automatically the width will be small. No, it's not looking good. Let's make back it to 100%. Object fit cover nothing but based on this box, fit it as a cover photo. Okay. Then object position. If we remove this position from center and make it to certain value like left or right, what happens? Let's see. It is aligned to left, but as the pixels, the boxes are done as in that position, it is aligned to center as well because of the padding concept. Let's not change it and make it back to center. Okay, because on the box model concept of that padding and the border radius and all, we have added it in in the form of center. Okay, border radius is 10 pixels. What if we remove, if you want to make it a circle, we can simply do it as border radius 50%. The image is in circle. Now is it looking good? Yeah, it's looking great for me. Next, about this H1. Is it H1 or H2? In our case, it is H2. So instead of H1, we have to make it to H2. H2, Control S. For this H2, the font size is 25 pixels. Let's make it to 50 pixels. Let's see what happens if we make it to 50 pixels. The size is increased and add friend has come out. So be careful while doing this. Be careful while doing this. It was 25. Let's make it to 30. Now it would be fine. But still it is coming outside. Let's make it to 20. 20. So based on this, the values are changing. Be careful while doing this. Be careful while doing this. I'll adjust this code and come back. Just a minute. And I have changes back to 25 pixels, 500 pixels. So everything is adjusted as of now. No issues. But now coming to this H5. In this inside index.html, inside this hashtag card, we are styling this H5. Until now, we have not discussed any JavaScript. We are only discussing about HTML and CSS, the basic fundamental concept. Okay. Font size 15 pixels. If we increase it here, it will get increased there as well. Font size, if you can see, red. Let's make it to, okay, as it is selected, it's showing like this, red color. If you want to change it to any other color, if you want to change it to maroon, you can do that as well. If you want to change it to magenta, you can do that as well. Maroon color. If you want to change it to pink color, you can change it here as well. Whatever color you want, you can do here as well. That's what I wanted to tell. It is in pink color. Since he is a stranger, danger. So red color. Let's make it back to red. Then control S. Margin bottom on bottom 20 pixels. Let's reduce to 10 pixels so that everything will look fine. Control S. So the button is coming nearer to us. Let's make it to 5 pixels so that it will be more near. As you can see, this bottom, if this is an element, the margin bottom of this is this one. That's why we are increasing and decreasing that margin bottom. If we decrease the values, it comes closer. If we increase the value, it goes far away, right? That's where the concept lies. Next thing. Instead of 25, let's make it to 15. That would look fine, I guess. Yeah. As you can see, this add friend stranger, add friend button is created. Now about this button, we are giving the color of caddet blue. If you want to give any other color of simple blue, you can do that as well in here. Simple blue. As you can see, the button of friend is blue as of now. Next, the color to be color of the text is white. Font weight 700 pixels, padding 12 pixels, 20 pixels, padding nothing but this space inside this, inside the border and this, it is 12 pixels and 20 pixels. Okay. Border radius 10 pixels. If you want to make it to circle, you can make it to 50% here as well. But I'm just showing, will not make it to circle. It would look very bad. Is it looking good? Fine. If it is looking fine, let's keep it as well here itself. Okay. It is over 50%. Next, border none. If you want to add the border of solid or 2 pixels, let's say 2 pixels solid black. Let's make it 2 pixels solid black. It will add a border around it. If you can see in here, there's some border added around the button. This 2 pixels solid black border. Okay. Next, margin 5 pixels cursor pointer. If cursor pointer, whenever the cursor is put on it, automatically the cursor is changing into pointer. From arrow mark, it is changing into pointer. Outside arrow, inside pointer. Right? There are different types of cursors as well. There are different types of cursors as well. If you can see, pointer, progress, all of this. Let's, as of now, let's keep it to pointer itself. You can explore more about this. So front end UI is completed. Now we have to write a logic that if you click on add friend, it has to show friends. If you click on the same button after clicking on add friend, it must change to remove friend. How can we do this? Let's see in JavaScript. For this, first of all, we have to create the JavaScript file. For creating JavaScript file, you can click on file and then create a new file, or double tap in here and then save the file called as script.js. Script.js. And then very importantly, make it to all files. Change it to all files. Save. It is JavaScript file is now created. Now our work is to write the logic of it. Write the logic of JavaScript, right? What is the JavaScript? Let's first of all create one status button to read the status of this. I want to read the status of this button, if it is clicked or not. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a variable status equal to. First of all, let's see what is the ID of this. What is the ID of this button? Or the status is this, right? The status is stranger or friends. This one is button. will create another variable. For now, let's see the status. As of now, he is a stranger. The status of this person is a stranger. To get that access, to change from stranger to friends, from friends to stranger, we have to select this. DOM manipulation first concept, selecting an element. It is an h5. How to select that element? By using document dot query, this document dot query selector. Document dot query selector. Inside this, we have to select the h5, right? This element was h5. Select h5, control S. We have got the select h5. Now let's do one thing. For now, let's change it inner HTML as well. Status dot inner. Okay, status is reserved word. Instead of status, let's make it as stat. Let's make it a stat. Status is reserved word itself, so it is giving us an error. Inner HTML equal to friends. Save, reload. No, we have not given any logic as of now, right? So the start.innerHTML is not changing. Once we click on that button, we have to change that logic. Let's see how to do this. First of all, this start is reading the value h5 and will change that inner HTML to friends, right? As of now, is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Why did this not change? Because we have not linked. We have not linked the script in here. Did we link the JavaScript file? No. Similar, how we have linked this style sheet, we have to link the JavaScript file as well. How to link that JavaScript file? Link :js :js. Enter. Link :js is not a default. Okay. Instead, we can do one thing. We can simply write or import entire JS file. Okay. In JavaScript as well, there are three things: inline JavaScript, internal JavaScript, and external JavaScript. What we are doing is external JavaScript. This external JavaScript has to be imported. To import, all the links have to be written inside head. I hope you remember that, right? And one more very funny thing. I was trying to write here link :js to explain you will it work like CSS or not. No, it doesn't work because JavaScript has to be imported using script tag. Script tag, right? Script tag is imported inside the body in this way. You write down script :src. src is nothing but file location. What is our file location? That is script.js. We have to write in here script dot. It has automatically recommended us. You can see it has automatically recommended us script.js. Control S. As you can see, it has changed to friends now because we have written inner HTML equal to friends. Let's write hello here. Hello. Save. It has become to hello. In this way, you can change the inner HTML. This is DOM manipulation concept, but we want it to change when we click on this. When we click on this, it has to change, right? Let's do this. How to do this? I'll write down the code and show you the output. First of all, let's change it back to stranger because he's a stranger, right? We cannot say him as friend until and unless we make him friend, right? That's fine. Let's make it back to stranger and let's remove this line of code. Until now, we have just understood how to access this h5. Next, our task is to read the input of this, and based on the click of this, we have to change the output, right? How to select this element? We can select using button. Directly, we can select using button, or else let's do one thing. Let's give an ID to this button. ID to the button called button, right? Let's make it to add, or you can use directly button as well. Button is an element already. So to reduce the nomenclature of naming, let's make it as add. Simple. Can you do this? Simple. For add friend ID, we have add friend. We have given an ID called add. To read the value of this add. To read the value of this add, what should we do? We have to create a new variable called var add. Let's say add button. Shall we say add button or shall we give any other name or simply say button to make it simple for you? Then button btn equal to read that value. What shall we do? We have to do document. We have to do document dot query selector. Query selector. Quickly answer me what should be inside this. We have to read the value of a button which we have given an ID called add. ID nothing but hashtag. Hashtag, right? Hashtag add. For now, we are reading the value as add. Very simple. We are reading the value of a semicolon is optional. You can avoid this as well. We are reading the status of this add. But based on this status, we have to perform certain action, right? This button only it is created, but there is no event on it. To add an event listener, the concept of event listeners. How can we do this? By using dot add event listener. All the concepts which we have learned until now, we are only using those. I hope you are able to follow. btn dot add event listener. What does this event listener take? It takes an input parameter. What is the input parameter? First of all, what event? Based on hover or click. If you hover, automatically it says it. If you hover on this, automatically if you get added friend, will that make logic? No. Whenever I click on this, only when I click on this, the logic must change. So we'll give the event as click. If you do not know this, please revisit the concept of DOM manipulation, module 8 of our bootcamp. Button dot add event listener click. After click, certain action must be performed. What action must be performed? For that, we are creating a function, one anonymous function. One anonymous function. Can you do this until here? Yes, everyone, can you do this until here? After this, let's do one thing. First of all, let's make it to friend. Whenever I click on add friend, this stranger must be converted into friends. This stranger must be converted into friends. We know how to select this element, and we have stored in the form of variable stat, right? Whenever it is clicked, stat dot. Whenever it is clicked, stat dot inner html equal to friends. Inner html equal to friends, and then that stat style color must change to blue for me. Stat dot style dot color equal to, I want to make it to blue. Save. Let's run this. Add friend. As you can see, when I clicked on add friend, the color changed to friends, but this add friend remained the same. This add friend remained the same. How can we do this? First of all, let's change it to stranger back again. Let's change it to stranger and make it red. First of all, let's make it to stranger and the color as red. First of all, I'll save the file and I'll show you once. Okay, add friend. As of now, this was the thing, right? But now, see, we have access to this stat. We have access to this stat and this button. This is called as stat. This is called as btn. Okay, based upon these values, we are changing the style. Whenever I click on this, this stranger must become friends, and the color must become blue. Also, this add friend text must become remove friend. This add friend text must become remove friend. How can we do this? This button value which was add friend previously must become remove friend. For this, we have to do is btn dot inner html equal to, what should we write here? We want to make it to remove friend, right? Remove friend. Save. Watch it carefully, everyone. Watch it carefully. See the output. We have saved the file. We have access for this h file. We have access for this button. This h file is stat. This button is btn. Whenever I click on this button, now the expected output is, if I click on this button, this stranger must convert it into friends, and this add friend must become remove friend. Clear? Or shall we change the button as well? Button color, btn dot style dot color equal to red. Control S. See, if I click on this button, the text of the color is remove friend, and from stranger it has become friends. As simple as that. In this way, you can create add friend and remove friend. But the logic is not right here. If I click on remove friend, is it becoming add friend again? Is it becoming add friend again? No, no, right? Let's see how can we do this. Let's remove this entire code. For this, we have to use the concept of flag. Flag nothing but when the button is clicked, let's make flag equal to 1. When it is clicked again, let's make flag equal to 0. If the value is 0, then you have to show add friend and stranger. If the value is 1, you have to show remove friend and strangers. Clear? Let's see how to do this. First of all, let's create a variable called flag. Flag equal to 0. Right? First of all, let's change this logic. Let's change this logic of btn dot inner html. As we have changed the logic, we have to get it back, right? Let's make it add friend again, and then stat dot inner html as stat dot inner html. First of all, I'm redirecting to the old ones, right? Back again. How inner dot html to stranger, and then stat dot style dot color Nothing. Before we are writing this again and again, no problem, because it will get practice for you. Control S. As you can see, we have got the previous one. Let's remove this, or let's copy this. Anyways, we'll use the same logic, right? Let's copy this. Okay. Now the logic is, now the flag is 0. Now the flag is 0. Whenever the flag is 0, it must show like this. Whenever when we click on something, when we click on that, the flag must become 1, and the remove friend must become add friend, and add friend must become remove friend, and make it to stranger. I hope are you able to understand. No worries. If you are confused, let's understand with the help of if else condition. Okay. If flag if flag equal to 0, if flag is equal to 0, then what you have to do? You have to do inner HTML is equals to inner HTML equal to so and so. Okay. And then else, if the flag is equal to 1, if the flag is equal to 1, if the button is clicked, in those cases what you have to do, make inner HTML as friends, make inner HTML as friends, and then the color of the friends to blue. Let's make it blue, and then the add friend button must become remove friend. Okay. But this code executes only once, because we are not updating the value. Okay, let's run and see. Now it is not doing anything, because it is flag equal to 0. It is flag equal to 0, and there is no change. There is no change in this. Is there any change? Are we updating flag? No, right? So to update the flag, what we have to do? We have to do flag equal to 1. Now flag equal to 1. Whenever you click the button, this 0 will become 1, and whenever the button is clicked, the flag becomes 1 again, and the else condition gets executed, and this friends logic will run. Okay. After running the logic, we have to make it back to 0, right? Yeah, we have to make it back to 0. Let's save this and run. Control S, Control S. Reload the page. Run. Add friend. Still it is not working. Add friend. Yeah, it is working. Add friend. After adding friend, if you click on add friend, now you have got friends. Now if you click on remove friend, then it has become stranger. How is this working? First of all, we have initialized flag equal to 0. Whenever the flag is 0, initially, this is the logic. Start.innerHTML stranger, show stranger, and the color of the text should be red, and the button inner HTML must be add friend. Once it gets executed, make flag equal to 1. Once it is executed, make flag equal to 1. Now if flag is equal to 1, whenever the button is clicked, if the button is clicked, the flag is 1, right? So this condition does not get executed. Yes, whenever the button is clicked, by default it is flag equal to 0. By default it is flag equal to 0, and this by default style is present. But once we have to update it to flag equal to 1. Now when flag is equal to 1, this 0 becomes 1, right? This 0 becomes 1. When the 0 becomes 1, it checks this condition. If flag equal to 0, no. This else condition gets executed. Then stat.innerHTML, we have to change it to friends, and then stat.style equal to blue, that nothing but friends equal to blue, and then inner HTML to remove friend. After this, we have to re-update it to flag equal to 0. We are playing with flag only. Only if you play with flag, only then you can do. That flag is updated when? Whenever it is clicked. It will not get automatically. It will not get uploaded automatically. Whenever the button is clicked, only then the flag will be 0 or 1. 0 or 1. For one click it is 0. For one click it is 1. For one click it is 0. For one click it is 1. So for that 0 and 1 value, we are giving the style. As simple as that. We have seen how it is how does inner HTML work, how does this style work, and how to change inner HTML value. So based on this, flag equal to 0 and flag equal to 1 only, based on the click, based on every click. Event listener is nothing but on every click it has to work. If you click once, it has changed to stranger and add friend. That is flag equal to 0 is getting executed now. Once it gets executed, it has updated to flag equal to 1. Flag equal to 1 is done. Whenever I click on this, flag is 1, flag is 1. So it checks here. If flag equal to 0, no, it is 1. So else condition gets executed. That is, the color changes to blue and the text changes to remove friend. I hope it is clear. And again it updates flag equal to 0. The condition is completed. Now flag is 0 again. Now it does not check the condition by default. Whenever you click only, whenever you click only, the condition is checked. Whenever you click, the flag was previously 0, so this if condition gets executed. I hope it is clear. In this way, you can simply get these kind of simple projects: add friend, remove friend, add friend, remove friend. I hope it is clear. We have not discussed much about CSS, but I have shown you where if you can manipulate things, the things will change. It is very easy for you to see HTML and CSS tutorials online. If not, you can enroll into one of our bootcamp. Out of excitement, I have unveiled. Okay, we'll discuss about this. We'll discuss about this at the end of session. At the end of session, we are going to plan something for you at very affordable cost, where other things are where other platforms are providing you these kind of stuff for thousands of rupees for 20,000, 25,000, 8,000, 10,000, 5,000. In those competitive market, we are coming with some great prices, with some great perks, bonuses as well. We'll discuss this. I hope this project is clear. Add friend, remove friend. The logic is based on the flag, right? Then everyone, great. Now let's discuss about the second project. Let's discuss about second project, that is this one, time and temp. We already have gone around 54 or 53 minutes. We cannot discuss much about this. I'll explain you JavaScript code. I'll not explain the HTML, CSS code entirely again from scratch. I'll explain you from scratch. From scratch, I'll explain you JavaScript. As we have promised, we are focused on JavaScript. It is not that Adnan sir is going very fast. He's skipping on things. No, I'm not skipping on things. As based on JavaScript, we are discussing everything in JavaScript. Apart from this, in bonus, we are discussing about this HTML and CSS. Clear, everyone? Everything also this is created by Bootstrap, so you can learn about Bootstrap is nothing but framework of HTML, CSS to directly copy paste things. Even this form is created using Bootstrap. Let's go to that code. I'll pause the video and open the code and walk you through the code, how the things are working and how to manipulate things as well. Is everyone, this is the HTML, I mean the Bootstrap code. Bootstrap is nothing but a framework of HTML and CSS combined. I know it is a very lengthy and long code, and you will be very afraid to see all of this. If you simplify or break down this, it is very simple. This is a code for the JavaScript code for this time and temp. I'll explain you how this works, but the main focus of us will be on this. Okay, how this works is, first of all, let A, we are taking one variable, date and time. Okay, after this, first forget about these options. Option nothing but is an object where weekdays, long, numeric, and all of this stuff. But main focus is here. We are creating one time interval. You can see here. I'll copy this and paste in the new page. Hopefully you will be able to see this. Control B and then Control S. Control S and make it as, let's say, time.js. So done. We have to close the curly braces as well. We have to close the curly braces as well. Okay, what is this? What is this? Is nothing but, see, it is set interval. That is the JavaScript async JavaScript concept, where we are taking one arrow function. We are taking one callback function or arrow function, which is doing what? It is creating one date variable. Inside this date, this is date variable gives you all the values in the form of lengthy string. Let's run this. How to run this? Right click, inspect. Let's go to console. And what if we run this code? Control C, Control V, and enter. One. After 1 second, we have to, okay. Since we are printing over there, it is not working. But okay, as you can see, it is clear here. Date A equal to local date string. मतलब a local date string which has three things: hours, minutes, and seconds. And based on these hours, minutes, and seconds, we are manipulating the inner HTML. Since there is no inner HTML here, this console cannot do anything. If you see this index.html, it has this inner HTML time and temp. In this time and temp, we are changing the time in here. Okay, don't worry, I'll show you. See, if you directly access the date, it will have hours, minutes, dates, seconds, milliseconds, location of your house or that wherever you are sitting, coordinates, everything. But in that you only want the date, you only want the time and date to be represented in this way. So to represent that in that way, we are using this. We are using writing entire this logic. First of all, in A, all the date values will come. From that date values, first of all we need hours, and then we need minutes, and then we need seconds. So based on these hours, minutes, and seconds, we are storing it in the form of time. Similarly, we are storing this value, right? Sunday, February 18, 2024. And this, all of this we are storing in the form of weekday, year, and month, right? We are storing in the form of date. Clear? Once you store in the form of date and time, in that document dot get element by id time, wherever we have written this time, I'll show you. In this id time, in this place we are selecting document dot get element by id time, and in that place we have to display all of this. We are changing the inner html. We are changing the inner html like this. We are changing the inner html as time, that is this values, all of these values, time plus br, nothing but to add one space, to add one empty line in html, on we are printing this on, and then date is nothing but all of these values, Sunday, February 18, 2024. If you have to break down this, I'll show you in the one notepad. 1 minute, just a minute everyone. Yeah, okay. So one note open. No, why it's taking that much time to load? Usually it doesn't. Okay, yeah, we have got it. OneNote is loading. OneNote is loaded. Now let's make it to full screen. Let's make OneNote to, why it is lagging. Just a minute, I'll open and replay again. Yes, you can, everyone. If you can see here, we have to print the date and time in this format, right? We have to print the date and time in this format. First of all, we have to write as current time is, and then after this we have to print hours, minutes, seconds. We have to print hours, minutes, and then after this we have to print seconds. After this minute, seconds, we have to write on in the next line. In the next line, we have to write on Sunday, that is nothing but day, February 18, 2024. So what we have done is, in our JavaScript code, after getting that a dot date, we have divided into two things. One is date. This function returns you all the values, right? This function returns you all the values. Then we have created one date variable and one time variable. Inside the date and time variable, what we have done is we have structured our requirement. Time in the form of hours, minutes, and seconds, and the date in the form of day, month, date, and year. Okay, in this format we have structured. After this, the simple code, we are changing that inner html. We are changing that inner html equal to, and all of this. First of all, we are printing time plus on plus date, as simple as that. If you see the code as well, in here, see the code, document.getElementById by id time. We are selecting the time element. This is nothing but id time. After that time, we are changing dot inner html. First of all, we are writing the variable name called time. Time has structured in the form of a dot get hours colon a dot get minutes, 46 minutes, colon a dot get seconds. So everything is done in the form of time. If you call time here, automatically all of these will come, nothing but this will come. Time is completed. Next, br tag is nothing but break, to add on next line. In the next line, print on. In the curly braces, I mean in the quotations, whatever we write is a string, right? It prints on. And then after on, we are printing date. You may be wondering, what is this date? Remember, we have created one date called a dot to local date string undefined options. What are these options? Options are nothing but again objects. Options object, which is weekday. Which weekday of week is Sunday, and then year, and then month, and then second, and then day. All of these we have divided and structured in the form of date. Now document dot get element id time will change the inner HTML to, first of all, time, all of this time. After this, it will write on in the next line, and continuation of date. All of this date is printed. As simple as that. This is JavaScript code. If you want to take a screenshot of it, you can take. If you want to write down, you can write. Or else, anyways, we'll provide you with the source code in your WhatsApp group. Clear, everyone? Let's see where this time variable is. Where this time variable is in this Bootstrap code. It is a bit complicated for you to see, but if you learn Bootstrap framework, it is very easy for you to copy paste the things. Okay. See, here you have an id time. In this id time, all of this is executed. Dot in an HTML. I hope that time is clear. Now let's get back to temp. Very important. This is temperature converter. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Where is this temp? Yeah, div temp. Most importantly, just focus on this temperature, unit, and convert button and this temperature. There are four components. One is temperature, second one is unit, third one is convert button, fourth one is where we have to print. Okay, where are these in HTML code? Let's check this. First of all, id equal to temp for entire div body, and after this heading as temperature converter, heading as temperature converter in h4. After this, focus on this everyone. Temperature input. Temperature input is the label for temperature input, and id is also temperature input. Nothing but we are taking input as temperature. We are taking input as temperature in here. So the id is temperature input. I hope it is clear. Next, unit. Next, unit. Coming to the unit, the id is unit select. The id is unit select. In those IDs, there are two values, Celsius and Fahrenheit. If you click on here, there is Celsius and Fahrenheit, right? It is nothing but drop down. If you understand what are forms, what are HTML forms, you know what is radio button, what is checkbox, what is drop down, what is text input, what is number input, and all of those. Okay. For now, let's focus on this. This temperature. This temperature box. This temperature box input. This temperature box input is stored in the ID name called as temperature input. Let's write it down. Let's scroll down. Just a minute everyone. Take a red color. Okay. Yeah. First one ID is, what is it? Temperature. I'm focusing on JavaScript as of now. Okay. So we are playing with IDs. Temperature input, and the second ID was unit select, right? For this, what was it? Unit select, right? Let's confirm by using the code. Pressing the code. Yeah, it was unit select. Again, for this convert button, where is this button? Let's scroll down. Yeah, convert button is convert btn. Let's write down these three names: unit select and convert button. It is unit select. You can give any name as you want, but since we are giving it in this way, it's not mandatory that you have to follow this. You can give anything you want. Next one was convert button, right? Convert btn. Am I right? Let's confirm it again by seeing the code. Yeah, it is convert button, unit select, and temperature. These three are very important. After this, where you want to print this? Where you want to print this output after converted temperature? Where is this converted temperature? After this converted temperature, you want to print these values. So that is nothing but ID called converted temp. You may be thinking this all of this code is very complicated and lengthy. No, we are only playing with four things. Four things which I have listed down there. Fourth thing is converted temp. Okay. Fourth thing is converted temp. Don't worry, I am going from very scratch with very basic in the JavaScript. You will be able to understand. The fourth one is converted temp. Only these four variables are used to create the entire logic of JavaScript. Yes, everyone. Only these four variables are used to create the entire logic of JavaScript. If I had to draw the diagram, in here, let's change it to black color again. Yes, this was the box, right? In this box, there is first one input and another input, and then one convert button which shows the output. What is this? It is taking the input of temperature. Everyone please focus here. Please focus here. The second one is taking the input of unit, and there is one convert button, and there is output. Output is output where it has to be printed. There are only these four things. There are only these four things for the entire logic. The first one is everyone please see above and answer. The first ID is temperature input. The first ID is temperature input. The second ID is unit selected, right? Unit select. The convert button, the button ID is convert button. Clear? Next, the output where it has to be printed is converted temp. These are the places using which we are going to create the entire logic. First of all, we are going to read this value. We are going to read these two values, right? We are going to read these two values. Tell me, in DOM concept, what is used to read the value? Dot query selector. As simple as that. It is dot query selector, right? To read the HTML values, it is dot query selector, right? Or you can simply use dot get element by ID. Other way of doing this is using to read the values. There are multiple ways. As we are selecting ID, you can use dot get element by ID or query selector of dot temperature input. Sorry, hashtag temperature input and hashtag read. Hashtag unit select. Let's see the code. You'll be able to understand. See the JavaScript. It is internal JavaScript. If you use this script tag and write the code inside it, it is known as internal JavaScript. See everyone. First of all, we are reading this convert button. And we are creating one on-click listener. Nothing but whenever you click on that button, some action must perform, right? How to do this? Let's see the code. Let's understand everything one by one. As of now, just remember there are only, where is the camera? Okay, there are only four things. Temperature input, unit select, convert temperature, and output. Clear? Now let's see how things work. So even here is the JavaScript code. I have copied this entire code and pasted into new time.js to make you understand how things are working. Let's increase the screen size, shall we? Yeah. First things first. I want to read this value. Convert button value. What is the convert button value? Let's keep it aside here. Okay. What is this convert button value? It is convert btn, right? So document dot get element by ID convert button. We are reading the value of this convert button. After reading the value, we have to create some event listener. Whenever it is clicked, some action must perform, right? So dot add event listener click. Let's do one thing. Let's write everything. I'll not confuse you. Let's remove this everything at once. Okay. I hope you are able to see here. Are you able to see everyone? Document dot get element by ID convert button. Once this button is clicked, we are creating one event listener. Which event? On click listener. There is hover as well, there is double tap as well, but on this we are clicking, right? So click event listener. After clicking event listener, usually what does event listener take? After the event, it will take a function. Right? You can directly write the function like this, anonymous function, and then write down the entire logic inside it. Otherwise, other case, function declaration. We are declaring one function called converted temperature. Whenever this click is done, this function call will be done. So shall we create this function declaration? How to create a function declaration, everyone? We have learned in function modules, right? Please answer me how to create a function. Everyone? Function declaration, not function expression. Function declaration. Function declaration is done using function keyword and then whatever we have. Okay, let's not get into this. Okay, this converted temperature is a function name for us, right? This converted temperature is a function name for us. So we'll just copy paste it here. Function, we won't take any parameters, and all the entire logic of the program is to be written in this function, because whenever the button is clicked to convert, what shall we do? All the logic is written here. First of all, what should we do? We have to read the values, right? We have to read this value of temperature input, right? How to read this value? Var. Let's save it into input. Let's save it in the form of input temp. We are creating one variable called input temp. This input temp will have, I'll increase the size, you can see. This input type will read the value. How to read the value? Document dot query selector, or we can use get, as we are working with IDs. I'll show you this way as well. Dot get element by ID. Inside this ID, what should I write? To read this temperature? I should write temperature input, right? The ID of it was temperature input. Yes. Similarly, I want to read the value of this input select. and we want to store it in the form of variable, let's say unit selected equal to, shall I copy paste this? Yeah, document.getElement by id. Now inside this we have to write the id of this unit, this box. We have to write the id of this box. So it is unit select, right? It is unit select. We have stored in the, now we have got these two inputs. Now we have got these two inputs. The next thing is we have to read the output, and we have to print the output based on some certain condition. What is the formula of converting it? What is the formula of converting it, everyone? The formula of converting into Celsius and Fahrenheit. Shall we see from Google and do, or else shall I tell you? If you see from Google, you'll understand how things are working. Let's go to Google and see. As you can see, formula to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit is temperature into 9 by 5 plus 32. Let's copy this. Control C. I'll paste in here. I'll paste in here. It is temperature. That is in this case of dot Celsius, it can be Fahrenheit or Celsius in our case. So in that place, we have to replace it by input temp. As simple as that. Because we are taking input and applying that 9 by 5 formula. It is into multiplied by 9 divided by 5 plus 30 plus 32 equal to what is the value? Output. Here it is output value. Okay. It is for, I'll comment it out. I'll comment it out. It is for Celsius to Fahrenheit. 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 Sorry, I'm writing Farhan. Fahrenheit. Okay. Now similarly, let's convert it to for. Okay, I'm writing in here. Sorry, I'm very tired of these recording sessions again and again. There are a lot of effort going on for this free JavaScript bootcamp. Recordings day and night, managing multiple things at once. Okay. Similarly, formula for converting Fahrenheit into Celsius. Okay, it is like this. It goes as follows: Fahrenheit to Celsius. It is as follows. Instead of this 32 degree, it is nothing but input temp. As simple as that. And in case of degree Celsius, it is output variable. Okay. I hope it is clear, everyone. I hope you are able to understand. You are able to follow. We are going very slow. We are first taking the input temp and reading. First of all, we are taking the input temp and reading. We are selecting the unit and reading. And now we have to declare one variable. Let's declare one variable for output. Let's say output. Let's say variable output. Output value. Shall we tell output value, or shall we tell converted temp? Based on our case, here the output should be printed in the form of converted temp, right? Converted temp. I hope you are able to follow, everyone. We are just declaring. We are just hosting the variable. Next. Now, very important, the logic. The logic. Whenever this unit is clicked, there are two options for him: to select Celsius or to select Fahrenheit, right? Okay. We can use if else conditions, or else let's use switch case. Let's use switch case, everyone. Switch case allows you to select among multiple values, right? Switch case allows you to select among multiple values. So switch. What is the switch case? Based on what values? Based on the unit selected. Based on the unit selected. Control C, Control V. Based on the unit selected, there are two options for it. There are two options for it. What are those two options? One is, I'll comment out. One is Celsius, and another one is Fahrenheit. If the case is selected, if the case is Celsius, the case is Celsius. How does this case come from? Based upon these values. Please focus here, everyone. If you focus here, based on these values, the case comes. So be careful. If it is capital C, you have to write capital C. If it is capital F, you have to write capital F. Okay. Let's simply copy this. Why to make it complicated? Case Celsius. After this case Celsius, something must happen. Let's keep it aside. And similarly, first for case Fahrenheit as well. For case Fahrenheit as well, something should happen. What is to be happening is nothing but this formula. This formula has to be written. How? How to write this formula? Where to write this formula? Inside this values. Inside this converted temp, we are updating the value. Inside the I'm sorry. We are inside this converted temp. Inside this converted temp, we are updating the value, right? So inside this Celsius box, converted temp equal to what is to be presented there? The formula which we have bought from Google. What is it for converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit? It is input temp. It is input temp into 9 by 5 plus 32. Copy paste. It is input temp into 9 by 5 plus 32. Or else there is another formula. Or even this would work. Even this would work fine. Okay, let's keep it as of now. After this, we have to write break, right? We have to write break. Let's remove extra line. Okay, we have to write break. Similarly, for Fahrenheit conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius, how to do this? Converted temperature or converted temp variable equal to, now the formula from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Input temp equal to 9 by 5. Control V. I hope it is clear, everyone. I guess we have interchanged both of them. I guess for Celsius to Fahrenheit we are interchanged. Let's copy paste, no issues. We can change it in seconds. Control V. We have just interchanged the formulas by mistake. Control V. After this we have to break, right? Also we have to write one default case, because if these two does not get if these two does not, also we have to have one default case, right? When something does not work, something has to happen. So if the option is not among the Celsius and Fahrenheit, don't do anything, just leave it away. So we'll just write break, as simple as that. I hope it is clear. First of all, we have created one on click listener, that is event handler. Whenever the button is clicked, read the input variables from temperature and unit. You read the input variables from temperature and unit and store in input temp and unit selected. And also we are creating one variable called converted temp, and we are just creating, we are not storing any values, we are just creating that variable. Clear? After this we are using one switch case. When when this unit selected when this unit selected variable is equal to Celsius, based on the value of that drop down, if you use Celsius, that is capital C Celsius, then perform certain operation. What operation? In this converted temperature variable, apply this entire formula. It is not hyphen, it is minus. Okay, minus. Instead of 5 minus, it is multiplication. Okay, I hope it is clear. Apply this formula. Once applying this formula, it will store some value in the form of converted temp, in the variable of converted temp. After this, if the value selected is Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, if it is Fahrenheit, then do one thing: store the value of this converted temp by applying this formula based on this input temp variable. Store it here and apply mathematical operations and store the value in the form of converted temp. That is Celsius and Fahrenheit. What if you select Kelvin or any other different thing? If you select Adnan, which is not any variable type, in those cases you have to write default break. Great, clear everyone? Understood? When the button is clicked, you will take input. If you see here, for example, if I enter 32, 32 is nothing but temperature input. Temperature input is stored in the variable name called as input temp. Input temp. It is stored in the form of input temp. Next, I select as variable as Celsius. I'll select variable as Celsius. It is nothing but unit selected is nothing but Celsius now. Okay. As I have selected Celsius to convert into Celsius, so the variable which I have given, the computer will automatically understand that it is Fahrenheit. Okay, I'll have written wrong spelling, ignore that. It will select as Fahrenheit. Okay. After this, there is one converted temp value. There is one converted temp output value, which is to be updated. When it has to be updated, whenever I click on that convert button. Whenever I click on that convert button, it will take the input. And based upon this input, if it is Celsius or Fahrenheit, certain mathematical operations are performed as follows. And the value converted is shown in this output place. This is the entire logic of everything. If you see this code is exactly same of what we have written in here. As you can see, first of all, we are creating one dot get element by id, add event listener, click, and then converted temp. This is the function name. Function call. It is calling the function of this. The entire logic is written in here. Input temp is storing the value of this. Selected unit is selecting the value of it. For also one more thing, we have to select dot value, right? Because this dot get element by id will get the entire variable. Just add on dot value in here. No difference. Add on dot value. After this, entire same thing. Selected unit Celsius or Fahrenheit. Based on the Celsius or Fahrenheit, perform certain operations, and if both of them does not match, simply break. After this, dot, you have got the value dot converted temperature, right? But it has to be printed. It has to be printed in this location. It has to be printed in this location, right? So to print this location, first of all, we are selecting that dot get element by id converted temp. This location is selected by converted temp. Okay, in that we have to manipulate the inner HTML, changing HTML over there. We have to print as converted temp. What is the value of this? What is the value of this? Based on this, it is printed in here. And units. What unit you are converting? You are converting to Celsius or Fahrenheit. It is got from this variable name. And simply only these 8 to 10 lines of code is the entire logic of this. But you need to know how to create this form. You can learn from Bootstrap or HTML CSS as well. But the main logic of JavaScript is as follows. Here we have used the concept of functions, the concept of switch case, that is conditional statement, the concept of DOM manipulation to select and change the inner HTML. So what all we have learned in this 9 days of bootcamp in these 8 modules, we are applying the same concepts in here to do projects. I hope you are able to follow. Yes. Now if we come to the output of this, let's write 32, and the 32 I want to convert into Fahrenheit. If I click on convert, it is 89.6. So the input is nothing but this input temp. This Fahrenheit is nothing but selected unit. Based on the selected unit, it come to case Fahrenheit, and this formula was applied. Input temp 9 by 5 plus 32, and based on this 89.6 was calculated. If you open the calculator and see, we have entered 32, right? Let's open calculator. Let's keep it in here. What was the value, right? 32. 32, right? The value was 32. Based on this formula, it is 32 into 9 divided by 5. Let's add BODMAS rule. 32 into 9 divided by 5 plus 32 equal to, okay, we have to apply BODMAS rule. So let's do one thing. First of all, let's multiply this 9 by 5. 9 divided by 5 is equals to, what is the 9 divided by value? Calculator again. Sorry, this desktop calculator is very bad. There is no parenthesis, there is nothing to do. If it is mobile, it is very easy to do, right? 9 divided by 5. What is 9 divided by value? Equal to 1.8. 1.8 into, now we have to do input variable is 32, right? 32 equal to 57.6 plus 32. It is 89.6. Is our Fahrenheit value 18.6 converted here? Yes, it is 89.6. So in this way, the values are working. In this way, what if we convert it? Let's copy 89.6. Let's copy 89.6. Paste it here. We have given the input in the form of Fahrenheit now. I want to convert into Celsius. Value must be 32 or 32 point somewhere. Convert. See, the value is 32. So in this way you have created temperature converter from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and we have understood how to create this as well. We have understood how to add this add friend button from scratch using HTML CSS as well. So with this we have completed our JavaScript bootcamp. All the syllabus which we have promised you to deliver, we have delivered. We have converted everything. We have discussed about the project from scratch. Do not worry. I know as a beginner, these codes may be looking complicated to you, but always break down into simple steps to understand like this, and always practice, practice, practice. Until and unless you practice these concepts and watching these videos, it would be like watching movies. If you feel bored, pause the video, go out, have fun with your friends, come back and sit again and then practice. Practice for 1 hour. If you feel bored, use social media, use Instagram, WhatsApp, or talk with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever you want to do. But stay focused on this projects. Until and unless you practice everything, you cannot master any skill. Apart from JavaScript, be it Python or any other programming language or any other technology, machine learning, IoT or any other thing, until and unless you take those things and practice on your laptop, you cannot do anything. That's it, everyone. It's been very good having you on board. Uh, with this, we have completed the JavaScript bootcamp. 10 days have been gone like this. All the 9 modules have been covered. Everything is done. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn as well. If you want to connect with me personally, follow me on Instagram handle. Hopefully soon we'll be making a few announcements on our WhatsApp community group and our social media handles. So please be active over there, and definitely we'll be having one live session this week. All the students who are in the JavaScript bootcamp can connect with us on that live session, and let's have an interactive session. Let's take a feedback from you if you want any improvements, if you want any certain feedback or reviews, you can give us there. Also, we'll be having some great announcements in that live session. I have been stressing on this again and again. It is for your benefit. You have to join this session for sure. And meet you over there, everyone. Have a nice day. It was great seeing you. Bye.